Okay, we've got 4 readings of length measurements, and we want to create a data table for that. So let's create 1, 2, 3, and 4 runs. Underneath that, let's enter our length values. Suppose students had got these readings. Please use a comma in Excel, not a decimal place. Suppose those were the 4 readings of length by 4 different students. And the first thing you'll notice is that that reading isn't correct to this, doesn't have the correct number of decimal places. These readings over here are precise to the nearest millimeter, thousandth of a meter. So we need to highlight those 4, go up to these icons up here, where we can increase and decrease the number of decimal places. Let's make sure that we increase. Now they're too many, so let's go down, and they're all to 3 decimal places, as I should be. Let's give these readings a title. So let's highlight those 4 cells, click merge and center, and let's call that length L. Underneath merge and center, grab 4 cells and give it a unit. And then, very importantly, let's merge and center those 4, and let's express or record the uncertainty in each of these individual length measurements. So they're all measured with the same tape measure, and you need to, in your group, decide what your uncertainty is going to be. It's certainly going to be bigger than a millimeter, because you have to use the tape measure several times. So every time you're making a mark on the table, you're creating more uncertainty. So in your group, you're going to decide what your uncertainty in these measurements are, but in a good table, we'd have to insert plus or minus sign. So insert, go to symbols, choose the plus or minus sign, insert and close. So that represents uncertainty. And then the value, let's suppose it was 0.005 and it was in meters. You're going to have to decide on that uncertainty in your group. So I'll leave that up to you. So we've got a length, we've got the unit of measurement, we've got the uncertainty, we've got the 4 runs, and we've got the individual measurements. Right, now we need to find the average value of those 4. So let's merge those cells, go to home, merge and center, and let's call it the mean length. And that's going to also have a unit of the meter. To find an average value in Excel, you simply insert an equation. Start with an equal sign, then average, type it in, and there it is at the top of the list. We're going to double click on that, and it's looking for the numbers you want it to average, so we're going to have to highlight those 4 length measurements. Close the bracket and hit enter, and you have an average value. Right, so that's the best measurement of length. But that length, or any measurement, any average, is going to have some uncertainty. And you can see the maximum value was 7.4 meters, and the minimum value was 7.296. So we need to find the range between the maximum and the minimum value, and then halve that range. So let's insert another heading, merge and center. And in physics, we use the delta sign. So let's go insert, symbols, and let's insert the delta sign. And this is delta represents uncertainty, and we're going to open our brackets and write L mean. So that's the uncertainty in the mean length. And it's also going to have a unit of the meter. Right, we said we wanted to find the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value and divide that difference by 2 to have half the range. So let's go equals, open a bracket. We want to find the maximum value, so we type in max and double click on max. That's going to ask you for the range of values you want to find the maximum in. Highlight those 4, close the bracket, and you should have the maximum value. From that, we're going to subtract the minimum value. Type in min, double click on min, highlight the same 4 cells because it's looking for the minimum value now. Close the brackets. Close the brackets there, and that would be your range, and then you want to divide by 2. Enter. You'll notice now the uncertainty is half of the range. So whenever we express an uncertainty in a measurement, we go to one significant figure. At the moment there's 2 there, the 5 and the 2. So we want to adjust that to one significant figure. So we click on the cell, we go to home, and we change the number of decimal places again. Here we want 2 decimal places. Now we have an uncertainty to one significant figure. Well, that means you have to adjust your mean value. Your mean value cannot be more precise than the uncertainty. So we need to take that to 2 decimal places. So click on that cell, go to decrease decimal places again. We've got it down to 2. Now the mean value matches the uncertainty. One significant figure in the uncertainty, in this case 2 decimal places in the mean value. Let's give our table a title, highlight those, merge and center, type in your title. This is going to be table 1, and it's going to be raw data. Let's left justify that, so go up to this icon here, align left. Maybe we want to give it a bold it up, and then we want to make it look like a table. So let's highlight the entire table. Let's give it some borders. So we go to this icon over here, and the drop down menu gives us all borders, and it's looking more like a table. Notice this unit here is not centered. Let's highlight everything. Go to center. And we've got everything centered. So there's our table of our raw data measurements. We've got an average. We've got an uncertainty that determines how many decimal places we have in our mean value. And we've got some raw data.